I was driving through the cold December night heading to my brother's house for Christmas dinner. In my coat pocket sat an envelope that could change everything for my family. For 10 years, I had been the silent supporter, the one who showed up with money whenever they needed it. This year, I had prepared the biggest surprise of my life, but that night would transform my understanding of family in ways I never expected. Something felt different this time. Before we dive into this story, let me know in the comments where you are watching from tonight. If you have ever carried a gift you ended up deciding not to give, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let me tell you what happened next. My name is Tom. I am 34 years old and I work as a software engineer in Austin, Texas. I live alone in a small one-bedroom apartment near downtown. Nothing fancy, just enough space for me, my laptop, and the projects I work on late into the night. For as long as I can remember, my family has viewed my life as incomplete. No wife, no children, no big house with a 2-car garage. In their eyes, I am the brother who never quite figured it out. But they do not know everything about me. Every evening after work and every weekend for the past 3 years, I have been building something. An app for personal finance management. Nothing glamorous, just a simple tool that helps people track their spending and save money. I built it because I needed it myself, and then I realized others might need it too. What my family does not know is that 3 months before this Christmas, a major tech company reached out to me. They wanted to buy my app. After 2 months of negotiations, the deal closed. $12 million. I could barely believe it when I signed the papers. I kept it secret from everyone. I wanted to surprise them at Christmas. But before I tell you about that night, you need to understand the last 10 years of my relationship with my brother Derek. Derek is 4 years older than me. He owns an auto repair shop on the east side of town. He has a wife named Sandra and 2 kids, Tyler, who is 14, and Emma, who is 11. On the surface, Derek has everything our mother ever wanted for her sons. A family, a business, a life that looks complete. What nobody talks about is how that life was built. When I was 26, Derek came to me with a business proposal. He wanted to open his own repair shop, but he did not have enough capital. He asked me for $20,000. He promised to pay it back within 2 years once the shop got running. I gave him the money. I believed in him. 2 years passed, then 3, then 5. He never mentioned repaying me. When I brought it up once at a family dinner, he laughed and said, "Come on, Tom, we are family. You are not going to nickel and dime your own brother, are you?" Everyone at the table laughed. I never brought it up again. When I was 28, Derek called me about Tyler. The kid needed braces, but their insurance did not cover it. $5,000. Sandra called me crying, saying Tyler was getting bullied at school for his teeth. How could I say no? I paid for the braces. Sandra thanked me once and never mentioned it again. When I was 30, Derek almost lost his house. He had taken out a second mortgage to expand the shop, and when business slowed down, he could not keep up with payments. He needed $15,000 to catch up on the mortgage and avoid foreclosure. I transferred the money that same week. He told me he would pay me back when business picked up again. Business picked up. He bought Sandra a new car instead. When I was 32, Derek wanted to expand the shop again. This time he needed a $50,000 loan from the bank, but his credit was not good enough. He asked me to co-sign as the guarantor. The bank required someone with strong credit to back the loan. I hesitated. $50,000 was a lot of risk, but Derek promised he had learned from his past mistakes. He said the expansion would make the shop profitable enough to pay off all his debts. I signed the papers. Over 10 years, I had given Derek around $90,000 in cash and put my name on another $50,000 in loan guarantees. I never saw a penny back. But here's the thing. Despite all of that, I never felt like a victim. I told myself that family helps family. I told myself that Derek just had bad luck. I told myself that eventually they would see everything I had done and appreciate me. I was wrong. Every family gathering followed the same pattern. Sandra would ask me when I was finally going to find a girlfriend. Derek would joke about his little brother who lives alone in a shoebox. My mother Eleanor would look at me with that familiar sigh and say things like, "I just wish you would give me grandchildren like Derek did." Nobody ever asked about my work. Nobody asked about my projects. Nobody asked about my life. They only saw what I did not have. This Christmas, I thought I could change everything. Inside that envelope in my coat pocket was a document outlining my gift to the family. $300,000 to Derek to pay off all his business debts and start fresh. $100,000 each in college funds for Tyler and Emma. $500,000. That was going to be my Christmas gift. I thought it would finally make them see me. I pulled into Derek's driveway at exactly 6:30 in the evening. The house was lit up with Christmas lights, the kind that blink in alternating colors. Through the window, I could see the family moving around inside their silhouettes, warm against the glow. I grabbed the bottle of wine I had brought and felt the envelope in my pocket one more time. My heart was beating faster than usual. This was it. After tonight, everything would be different. I knocked on the door and Sandra opened it. She was holding her phone, scrolling through something, and barely looked up at me. "Oh, Tom, you made it," she said flatly. "Come in. Find a seat somewhere." No hug, no smile, just a dismissive wave toward the living room. Derek was sitting on the couch watching football. He glanced over his shoulder when I walked in. "There he is," he said. "My little brother finally showed up. Grab a beer if you want. They are in the fridge." Tyler and Emma were in the corner, both staring at tablets, completely absorbed in whatever game they were playing. Neither of them acknowledged my presence. My mother Eleanor sat in her usual armchair by the fireplace. When she saw me, she gave me that look, the one that said she was already disappointed before I even opened my mouth. "Tom, dear," she said, "you came alone again." I nodded. "Yes, Mom. Just me." She sighed. That familiar sigh. "I just hoped maybe this year—" She trailed off, shaking her head. I sat down in the corner of the room, the farthest seat from everyone else. Nobody moved to make space for me anywhere closer. Dinner started about an hour later. We gathered around the large dining table, and Sandra had prepared a beautiful spread. Turkey mashed potatoes, green beans, cranberry sauce, the works. It looked like something from a magazine. I sat at the end of the table closest to the kitchen. The family filled in around me, leaving me on the periphery. As we started eating, Sandra turned her attention to me. "So, Tom," she said with a smile that did not reach her eyes. "Any exciting news this year still living in that tiny apartment of yours?" I took a breath. "Actually, I do have some good news I wanted to share after dinner." Derek laughed loudly. "Good news? What, did you finally get a date, or did you adopt a cat?" The whole table laughed. Even my mother covered her mouth, trying to hide her smile. I forced myself to stay calm. "You will see. I would rather wait until after the meal." Sandra leaned forward. "Oh, come on, do not be so mysterious. What could possibly be so exciting in your life?" Derek jumped in. "Let me guess. You got a promotion at that computer job, or maybe they let you work from home more so you can be even more of a hermit." More laughter. I felt the envelope in my pocket. $500,000. They had no idea. "Let us just enjoy dinner," I said quietly. "I will tell you after." The conversation moved on without me. Derek started talking about how well the shop was doing. "Best year we have had," he announced proudly. "Business is booming, all from hard work and smart decisions." I said nothing. I knew that shop was operating under a loan that had my name on it. I knew I had given him the startup capital years ago. But I stayed silent. Sandra chimed in about the kids. Tyler had made the school basketball team. Emma was getting straight A's in her classes. "We are so proud of them," Sandra beamed. "They are really becoming amazing young people." I had paid for Tyler's braces. I had contributed to Emma's private school tuition when they could not afford it. Nobody mentioned any of that. After dinner, we moved to the living room. The Christmas tree was glittering in the corner presents stacked underneath. Everyone found comfortable seats, and I ended up standing near the doorway. Sandra looked at me with an expression I could not quite read. "You know, Tom," she said, "I have been thinking about this for a while, and I just have to say it. I do not understand what you are doing with your life." I blinked. "What do you mean?" She gestured at me with her wine glass. "Look at you. 34 years old. No wife, no kids, no house. You live in a tiny apartment and work on computers all day. What do you have to show for yourself?" Derek nodded. "She is right, Tom. Honestly, what are you even living for? You are like I do not know, a waste of space, just existing without any purpose." A waste of space. The words hit me like a punch to the chest. I looked at my mother, waiting for her to say something, to defend me, to tell them that was too far. She looked at her hands and said nothing. Sandra continued. "We invite you to these family gatherings because we feel sorry for you. You have nobody else. If it was not for us, what would your Christmas look like? Sitting alone eating instant noodles in front of your computer?" Derek laughed. "Exactly. You should be grateful we include you at all. You do not contribute anything to anyone. At least with us you get to pretend you belong somewhere." Tyler and Emma were giggling. They thought it was funny. I stood there frozen. The envelope in my pocket suddenly felt like it weighed 100 pounds. $300,000 for Derek. $200,000 for the kids. $500,000 in total, for people who thought I was worthless. I looked around the room at each face. Derek smug and satisfied. Sandra looking at me like I was something to be pitied. My mother silent and complicit. The kids laughing at their uncle. In that moment, something shifted inside me. For 10 years, I had told myself they just did not know how to show appreciation. I told myself actions speak louder than words, and my help was enough. I told myself that eventually they would see. But standing there being called a waste of space by the people I had sacrificed for, I finally understood. They did not see me. They never had. And they never would. Not because they could not, but because they did not want to. I reached into my pocket and touched the envelope one last time. All those plans, all those dreams of finally being recognized. I let go. I made a decision in that silence. That envelope would never be opened in this house. Not tonight. Not ever. I stood up slowly. Everyone looked at me with mild curiosity, probably expecting me to apologize for being too sensitive or to laugh off their comments like I always did. Instead, I smiled. A real, genuine smile. Not forced, not bitter, just calm. "Thank you," I said quietly. "Thank you for finally telling me exactly where I stand in this family." Derek rolled his eyes. "Oh, come on, sit down. Do not be so dramatic." "No," I said. "I think I am done sitting down." I walked toward the door and grabbed my coat from the hook. Sandra called out, "Tom, where are you going? We have not even opened presents yet." I paused at the door and turned back to face them. "Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful night." I opened the door and stepped out into the cold December air. Behind me, I heard Derek say, "Just let him go. He will come crawling back once he realizes he has nowhere else to be." I closed the door softly. No slamming. No dramatic exit. Just a quiet goodbye. The drive home was strange. I expected to feel angry or sad or devastated, but instead I felt something unexpected. Free. For the first time in years, I did not feel like I had to prove anything to anyone. When I got back to my apartment, I sat in the darkness for a long time looking out at the city lights. Then I took out the envelope. I read through the documents I had prepared. $300,000 for Derek, $100,000 each for Tyler and Emma. I tore the envelope in half and threw it in the trash. Then I opened my laptop and wrote an email to my financial lawyer. The subject line was simple: withdrawal of guarantee. According to the contract I had signed 2 years ago, I had the right to withdraw my name from Derek's loan with 30 days' notice. There was a special clause stating that if the guarantor withdrew, the bank would require a full review of the loan terms. Without my credit backing him, Derek would need to find a new guarantor or pay off the entire $50,000 balance immediately. I knew what this would mean for Derek. Without someone with good credit to back him, he would be in serious trouble. For the first time in my life, I did not care. I sent the email and closed my laptop. The day after Christmas was quiet. I went for a long hike at Barton Springs, leaving my phone at home. When I returned, there were 2 missed calls from Derek. No voicemails. I did not call back. The second day after Christmas, something changed. What I did not know was that the news about my app sale had been published on a local tech news website. A family friend who worked in the technology industry recognized my name and called my mother to congratulate her on her son becoming a millionaire. My mother called Derek immediately. "Did you know about this Tom sold some company for $12 million? Derek did not believe it at first. He and Sandra searched online and found the article. There it was, my name and my photo next to the headline about the acquisition. When I got home that evening, my phone showed 5 missed calls from Derek, 3 from Sandra, 2 from my mother. I looked at the notifications for a long moment. Then I set the phone down and made myself dinner. The third day after Christmas, everything fell apart for Derek. The bank called him in the morning. They informed him that the loan guarantor had submitted a withdrawal notice. Per the loan agreement, the bank would need to reassess the entire loan. Given Derek's personal credit history, they would require a new guarantor within 30 days or full repayment of the $50,000 balance. Derek's shop had other debts. If he had to pay $50,000 immediately, he would not be able to cover his other obligations. The shop would go under. My phone exploded. 15 calls from Derek in a single day. 8 from Sandra. 5 from my mother. By evening, my voicemail was completely full. I sat on my couch that night and listened to every single message. The first one was from Derek trying to sound casual. "Tom, give me a call when you get a chance. Need to talk to you about something." The second was from Sandra, suddenly sweet. "Tom, we miss you. Christmas was not the same after you left. Please call us back." The third was from Derek with worry creeping into his voice. "Hey, there is some issue with the bank. Call me back. It is urgent." The fourth was from Sandra, less sweet now. "Tom, what is going on? Why did you withdraw from the loan?" The fifth was from Derek, angry. "What the hell are you doing? Tom, are you trying to destroy me?" The sixth was from Sandra, crying. "Tom, we heard about your money. Why did you never tell us we are family? We could have celebrated together." The seventh was from my mother. "Tom, please call me. I do not understand what is happening. Why are you doing this to your brother?" The eighth was from Derek, his voice breaking. "I am sorry. Okay, I am sorry about what I said. Please, I need you. Without that guarantee, I could lose everything. The shop, the house, everything." The ninth was from Sandra, desperate now. "Tom, think about Tyler and Emma. They need their uncle. Please, we made a mistake. We know that now." Messages 10 through 15 were variations of the same thing. Apologies. Please. Promises that things would be different. I listened to all of them. Then I deleted every single one. I went to bed that night and slept better than I had in years. The first week after Christmas was hard. Not because I missed them, but because I had to process everything that had happened. At first, anger would surge through me every time I thought about Derek's words. Waste of space. The phrase echoed in my mind at random moments during the day. Then the anger turned to sadness. 10 years of giving. 10 years of showing up with money and support and never asking for anything in return. And all I got was contempt. I started writing in a journal, something I had never done before. I wrote down every feeling instead of pushing it away. Some nights I cried. Not because I regretted my decision, but because I was finally letting myself feel the hurt I had been suppressing for so long. Those tears were not weakness. They were release. 2 weeks after Christmas, I got a call from Marcus. We had been roommates in college but lost touch over the years. He had seen the news about my app sale and reached out to congratulate me. We met for coffee at a small shop near the university. It felt strange sitting with someone who actually wanted to hear about my life. I told Marcus everything. The money I had given Derek, the years of being dismissed, the Christmas dinner, the voicemails. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he sat back and looked at me with something like respect. "You know what I think," he said. "For 10 years, you gave and gave. Not because they deserved it, but because that is who you are. You are a decent person, Tom. Do not let them make you question that." "But they are my family," I said. Marcus shook his head. "Being family does not give anyone permission to treat you like garbage. You do not owe them proof of your worth. You never did." It was the first time anyone had said those words to me. Hearing them from someone else made them feel true. 3 weeks after Christmas, I sent Derek one final message. "Derek, I need time and distance. I did not withdraw from the loan as revenge. I withdrew because it was time for me to stop being a financial safety net for people who do not respect me. I wish you and your family well, but I cannot continue a one-sided relationship. Take care of yourself." I did not wait for a response. I blocked Derek's number. I blocked Sandra. I blocked my mother. Not out of hatred, out of necessity. I needed space to rebuild. 6 months later, my life looked completely different. I moved into a bigger apartment with a balcony overlooking a park. Every morning I drink my coffee and watch the joggers pass by. I started seeing a therapist to work through the family issues I had been carrying for years. It is difficult work, but it is necessary. I joined a hiking club and made new friends. Real friends. People who ask about my life and actually listen to the answers. I began working on a new project. Not for money this time, just for the joy of creating something. Through mutual acquaintances, I heard that Derek found another source for the loan. The shop is still running. I do not know the details and I do not ask. I feel neither happy nor sad about it. I just feel nothing. And that neutrality feels like freedom. Looking back, I learned something important from that Christmas night. Your value is not determined by how others see you. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes it is the greatest strength you have. Walking away is not giving up. It is choosing yourself. And forgiveness does not mean allowing someone to keep hurting you. Sometimes I wonder if they ever understood why I left. Maybe they do. Maybe they do not. But it does not matter anymore. What matters is that when I look in the mirror now, I see someone I am proud of. Someone who finally stopped begging for recognition from people who never wanted to give it. And that is enough. That is more than enough. Now I want to ask you something. Have you ever had to walk away from people you loved because they could not see your worth? What did that experience teach you? Share your story in the comments below. I believe every one of us has been through something like this, and sometimes hearing that we are not alone can make all the difference. If this story touched you, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss more stories like this one. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message today, share this video with them. Sometimes the right words at the right time can change everything. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you carry this with you. Your worth does not depend on anyone else's opinion. You are enough exactly as you are. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.